How's it going, guys? Dryfire Faith. So yesterday I made a video and it was about polishing boots the CRS way. In this video I called out CRS and challenged him to a debate. And he said that he would debate me if I laid out a good enough groundwork for a debate. Not only good enough groundwork, but if he listened to it and he thought that I had a good plan. That's the point of a debate, but that's neither here nor there. So, I guess jumping right into it, what would I like to talk about? Well, CRS, number one thing I'd like to talk about is, what is freedom? What is it? Where does it come from? How do you have freedom? Who gave it to you? And do you need a permission slip in order to exercise said freedom? If it's freedom, do you? So that'd be number one. What is freedom? Not only to me, but to you and to the rest of the world and to our founders, right? Because that's what this whole experiment is based upon. It's based upon what our founders did, what they thought, and how we have gotten to here from there. Number two, let's see. What was the revolution about? You know, the American Revolution, that one. Right, just in case. So we're not talking about Guatemala or Panama or Iraq or Jakarta. We're not talking about the Ivory Coast. We're talking about here. What was the Revolutionary War all about? Okay. And so if we're going to be talking about freedom, and if we're going to talk about what the initial causation of the revolution was, I think it would only be fitting that we should also talk about what is your purpose. What is your goal in life as a man in this nation? What is your duty to this nation? Now, some would say placating your masters. Some would say appealing to God. Some would say crawling around on bended knee, right? But the main thing is, with your birthright of being an American, what is your duty to it? Okay, and so one of the most common things amongst the people that CRS sent over to not only view my channel but to say whatever they thought that they could say to make me feel small, which, good luck, doesn't work. Grew up in that shit. Discomfort? No. Discomfort is my comfort. Dysfunction is my function. Confrontation is definitely my comfort zone. All right? So, if you think you're going to dig at me and say this and that about, my sexual orientation, because that's the number one go-to for a lot of y'all, not hurt my feelings. Oh yeah, not at all. My stepdad had 3 rules in the house. Rule number 1, don't be a fag. Rule number 2, don't be me. Rule number 3, revert to rule 1 and 2. So if you think you're going to hurt my feelings, you're not going to hurt my feelings. I was called Giselda for 15 years. Giselda. You can't hurt my feelings, dude. Your little lackeys can't either. So. But let's see. The most common theme amongst the people that you sent over, their favorite thing to say was, well, if you won't say something now while it's easy, you won't do anything when it's hard. Well, let's check that. How long have I had this channel? Okay. How long have I been saying what I've been saying right now? Quite a while. Have I brought this up before? In fact, I believe I have. I believe I have a video called, Are We Free? I think I addressed it. And the whole reason I addressed it is because in the Declaration of Independence, it says that they are compelled to state the cause in which they must separate from the crown. I believe I've done that. I believe a lot of people have been doing that. See, the thing is you guys buy into the lie that we have to do it every time, over and over and over. That's called the definition of insanity, my good friend, is doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting a different result. being a bumblebee and flying into a window saying, this time, this time, this time, this time, this time. That's what you guys are doing. You're hitting that invisible barrier. It's not really invisible. It's just, it's out of your worldview. It's out of the perception in which your brain can process what they, the government, has been doing to you. And I guess the final piece that I would like to throw in here is the Republican, Democrat, left-right paradigm. I would like to throw that in there. And I would like to ask if people truly believe that Republicans have always had a vested interest in your ability, your unalienable right, to keep and bear arms. Have they? Because I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are still on that choo-choo train, right? I'm for taking the guns first, due process second. Because that's how it works. We've talked about this before. It's just like here in Texas, when Senator Babin and Crenshaw, when they decided that they were going to work on the TAPS Act, the Threat Assessment Prevention and Safety Act, right? That's Minority Report. Was that good? Was that good for all of us? Is that freedom? Does that compel a direct causation for a separation? I don't know. But, as I said, CRS wanted me to lay out a groundwork, so this is my groundwork. If you want to know what my plan is to be free, to live free, is to remain free, is to ensure the freedom of not only myself, but our nation's posterity. See how I said our nation's posterity? And posterity, I know it's a bit of a mouthful, but all that means is future generations. That means your children, CRS, and my children. That means my neighbors. That means the guy that lives in Joe Blow, Alaska, his kids too. Do you see what I'm saying? It's for their freedom, for the future. Because if there is no freedom in the future, then what's the point of anything right now? One more thing. I almost forgot, but I can't let it slide. I really can't let it slide. In the initial post that CRS made, sharing my video, at the very bottom, he pretty much says that he bets that I won't do nothing. You don't think I will? You see, unarmed, I ran, jumped on the back of a speeding truck and trailer, crawled up the trailer, jumped into the bed of the pickup, and then ripped the person out of the driver's seat. And it's on camera, bud. So if you don't think that I will, we'll see, bud. We'll see.
It's an elephant heavy. I'm coming back, baby.
Gets up.